What's up? This is your girl Zaria from Zifty Beats, and this is going to be my very first YouTube tutorial. Long overdue. Yeah, I know. And today I'm going to be giving you a natural glam, my everyday look. I figured this is a great way to just start off my channel. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my fresh face. Shout out to Bestie Gang for this killer roll. Gang. And we're going to go right into it. We're going to start with our Pond's moisturizer. This is going to be what I use to moisturize my face. I do use a lot of matte products, and I don't want my face, you know, drying out or having that really cakey look or feeling. In here, I'm just taking my FitMe setting powder and I'm putting that into my pores because I do have oily skin in this area and I don't want my oil seeping through my makeup. Alright y'all, now honestly, my brows was pretty much done already, but you know, I will have a tutorial down the line going into more depth about my brows, but right here I'm just, you know, cleaning them up, fixing them up, making them look nice and making them look how I want them to look. And I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade in the shade Granite to do that. So if you are looking for a tutorial on the brows, be sure to subscribe. I will be having that posted up as soon as possible, probably maybe my second or third tutorial that will be posted. Alright, so next I'm going to be going with my BH Studio Pro Concealer. Now this is like a really warm shaded concealer because I want it to look very natural and very close to my skin color. Maybe like a shade lighter than my skin color. You don't want to go too light when you're doing the highlighting on the brows because you don't want it to look super unnatural. Unless you want to look super unnatural, then by all means go for it. But we're not doing that here. These brows got to look presentable. So basically all I'm doing here is I am creating my shape for my brows using this concealer brush and the concealer. This does take me a little while, so I will speed this process up for you guys, but that's basically all you're doing here is just creating your shape. So next thing I'm doing here is I'm just taking a brush and I'm blending out that concealer. I want this to be as blended as possible, you know, melted into my skin so that when I apply my foundation, everything will look very smooth and very seamless. And here I'm just going in and, you know, fixing up my brows, making sure, you know, they look absolutely the way I want them to look. Alright, so here I'm just taking that same concealer I used to clean up my brows and I'm applying that all over my lid. I'm using a very thin layer because I don't want it to look, you know, cakey or too thick or anything like that. And I'm using the same color that I use for my lids because this is a natural look for me and I want them to look as natural as possible. After applying that concealer, now I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and going to just blend out that concealer on my lids. So next I'm going to take the Fenty Beauty Matchstick in the shade Espresso and I'm going to apply that into the crease of my lids. This is what I'm going to use to kind of create that natural contour of my eyelids. Now I'm just blending everything out, just, you know, making everything nice and smooth with that blending brush. Because I used that cream concealer, I'm going to be using my Jaclyn palette to set the concealer. looking for a light natural glow, I'm going to be using my Stila highlighter on my lid and my underbrow. Alright, so here I'm just using my drugstore gel liner, and I'm just going ahead and make that that wing on the outer corner of my eye, and I'm basically outlining for where I'm going to put the liquid liner. And while I do this because it'll make that liner a lot more intense. It'll make the color more intense. It just adds like an extra dramatic flair to me. And this is where I am also going ahead and taking my e.l.f. liquid liner and putting that directly on top of the gel liner, giving it that very dramatic deep black for me. Okay, so here I'm just going to take this Pro Concealer and I'm going to use this to sharpen up my wing. This cleans it up and makes it look, you know, super fly, super sharp, stabby, stabby. And of course here I'm just blending that out, you know, making everything nice and clean before I put on my foundation, as well as putting some eyeliner directly under my lash line. This will make my eyelashes look very deep and very thick. Next, I'm going to be using my FitMe foundation stick in the shade 355, and I'm going to just be applying that all over my face. I really like to use the stick as well as the liquid foundation. I'm not too sure why. And there I'm using the shade 358 in the matte poreless liquid foundation, and I'm also applying that and blending it all together with my Luxie brush. Alright, here I'm taking that same concealer that I used to clean my brows and I'm applying that directly under my eyes. It's important to me to use the same concealer that I use for my brows so everything looks very harmonized and everything looks the same and I don't have these dramatic changes in color. You know what I mean? It just looks weird to me. And to lighten it up a little bit, I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Tan Sand. This is the Creaseless concealer, and I'm going to apply that directly under my eyes. And I'm only going to be putting it under my eyes just to lighten it up just a tad bit. And to blend everything out, I'm just going to be using a damp beauty blender. I like to use it damp because, you know, it doesn't eat as much of your product if you're using it damp. If you're using it dry, it's soaking up all the product, but it can't soak if it's already soaked. You feel? To contour my face, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution in the shade F16, and I'm using that because it has like a very warm tone. I want it to look very warm. I'm going to use that to contour my face. To deepen up the outer regions of my face, I'm using the Fenty Matchstix in the shade Espresso, and I'm using that to just deepen up that outer rim of my face. I want to keep the warmth, but I also want it to be a little bit deeper. So here I'm just finishing up all the little blending and prepping my under eyes and the contours of my face for that setting powder so I can go ahead and get this baking going. In here, I'm just using my little concoction of the Fit Me setting powder as well as the Makeup Revolution setting powder, and I'm putting that directly under my eyes and on the bridge of my nose, forehead, you know, jaw, all that good stuff. And because I do like to set everything liquid on my face with the powder, I am using the Sephora foundation powder to set the contours of my face as well. And to finish up that eye look, I am going back into the Jaclyn Hill palette. I already applied my liner on my bottom lid, so I'm just using that brown to smoke everything out. And I'm pretty sure I'm done baking, so I'm going to take the Fit Me powder in the shade 330 and just dust off all that excess setting powder. So here I'm just finishing up the look now with some blush. Nothing special about the blush, just some, you know, regular blush. And then I'm going to also be going in with my Stila highlighter. I love this highlighter because it's like a silly putty. It's really fun to play with. And it'll just give me like a really natural glow, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that. So now to create my natural lippy, I'm going to be using the Fenty Matchstix, the shade Espresso, and I'm going to use that to outline my lips. I really love using like contour sticks for my natural lips because it just really makes it look very natural, very smooth. When I'm out all day, I don't really have any issues with it going away because it just looks like my lip naturally looks that way. So that's why I really like to use the contour sticks. So now I'm going to use the Pro Concealer to contour the center of my lip and blend that in with the outer contour. And to deepen it just a little more, I'm also going to be taking like a purple lipstick and just outlining it. I just use a little bit to outline that with, just to bring a little bit of hue to it, just a tiny bit of hue. And to lock this bad boy in place, I'm going to be using my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I love this setting spray. It really has me set for pretty much the entire day. So that's what I'm going to be using to close it out with. Alright guys, and this is the final look. This is my natural glam that I love to use on a more daily basis. If you guys also like this look, please don't forget to give it a thumb up, as well as comment down below what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, where I will have more looks and slays the Zifty way. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys next Friday.